dismembered, decapitated. It's probably because you're trying to hide something and make sure certain details don't come out.
To Life with Elise.
Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Elise and this is 10 to Life, where we talk all things true crime, the crazy, the insane, the confusing. We talk about it all. Today I have a case for you that so many of you guys have been sliding into my DMs requesting that I cover, and quite honestly, it's probably one of the crazier cases that I have covered in the most recent weeks. It's filled with lies, betrayals, secrecy, all sorts of it. It's all in this case, and we're going to jump right into it. Before we do, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, make sure you do so by hitting that subscribe button below. Take a chance on this channel. I promise you will not regret it. And for those of you who are true crime fanatics and want even more access, consider joining our Discord, where we literally are chatting 24/7. It's a true crime group chat. We're sharing theories, ideas, facts we're finding out. I mean, it's bananas in there. So take a look and join if you're interested. So the crazy case that we're going to be discussing today is one that is actually happening right now in real time, and it's the case of Elizabeth Jasso. And as I mentioned, so many of you guys have been asking me to cover this. I put together a timeline, and I don't know if it's just because it's insane to me or if it's because I'm pregnant myself, so I find it even more insane, but these kinds of situations are happening far too often, in my opinion. So let's jump right in. Elizabeth Jasso, pregnant with twins, went missing on August 5th, 2021, just a couple of days ago, and this was 6 months after her husband Milko was murdered. Now, just from that, this of course sounds like an extremely tragic case and that it's going to be heartbreaking. But as we know, things are not always what they seem, and this particular situation is honestly getting crazier by the day as new revelations emerge and new theories come out. This case quickly spread all over social media, and I am talking rapid fire. And it all started when Elizabeth's mother-in-law made a post on Facebook pleading for the return of her daughter-in-law, who was 40 weeks pregnant with twin boys that belonged, of course, to her son. So not only was everybody on social media trying to help and find answers and figure out what could have happened to Elizabeth, this woman who already lost her husband 6 months ago and was pregnant with his two twins, and where could she be? But it drew attention, particularly because of all of the twists and turns that started to emerge in this story, like we know so often happens. Now, before we jump into all of that craziness, let's rewind for a minute because I want to talk a little bit about what happened to Elizabeth's husband, Milko. Milko was 29 years old, and he was also the resident of Baytown, Texas. Now, prior to his death, he was a member of a loving family. He was expecting those twin boys with his wife Elizabeth, as I mentioned, and everything seemed on the up and up. However, in February of 2021, things took a drastic and tragic turn. Milko was shot and killed around 4:40 a.m. after an altercation with a 21-year-old woman at her house. Now, the preliminary investigation showed that Milko had started a physical confrontation with this 20-year-old girl and her 36-year-old boyfriend inside their home. At some point in the fight, it's alleged that the woman retrieved a handgun. The woman's boyfriend was the one who allegedly shot Milko, but it's unclear if the killing was an act of murder or self-defense. But at the time, both the woman and the boyfriend were taken into custody. It's still been challenging to find a lot of details that surround that particular event that took place in that home and what the charges may have been and what really actually happened. As soon as I learn more about that, I'll let you know, but it still is a bit unclear at this moment because there are a lot of different working theories out there. Now, this was absolutely devastating to Milko's family and to his wife Elizabeth, because prior to his death, Elizabeth had shared with him that she was pregnant with their twins. And on her Instagram, she had posted a photo from January 22nd, just a couple of weeks before this horrible occurrence took place, and it shows him with his head on her stomach and the caption, "Daddy loves the growing belly, #Jasso twins." An absolutely devastating situation to be pregnant with your twins, your husband is shot and killed. I mean, I can't even imagine what that must feel like facing that, or allegedly facing that, I should say. So over the next several months, Elizabeth shared her pregnancy journey very publicly. She shared ultrasound photos, pregnancy updates, gender reveal parties. I mean, There was no shortage of maternity photos on this woman's Instagram. She was sharing it with the world, and she was sharing every single detail along the way. Her social media page also showed that she had a baby shower and a pregnancy photo shoot that included a photo that had her late husband edited into it through Photoshop. As I mentioned, she posted frequently on Instagram and on Facebook, and one of the saddest things that we've heard is that her mother-in-law, Milko's mother, also had said to people, "They took my son, but I'm going to be blessed with 2 boys." Just looking so forward to the idea of her grandsons being born and having that family legacy continue. Then on August 5th, the very day that Elizabeth was allegedly scheduled to be induced to give birth to these twins, she vanished. Prior to vanishing, she had shared another update on social media like we know she loved to do. And in this update, she says, "Y'all pray for this girl. Inducement scheduled for tomorrow to bring our boys into the world." And she had told family and friends that she was scheduled to be induced at 10 a.m. The following day on August 5th, which was the last day that she was seen, she posted a photo of her husband's grave and wrote, "My heart is filled with so much joy and sadness. All I can imagine is your big, beautiful smile as your body rocks up in heaven. But the day is here, and I know your spirit flies all around me. I promise that cash and royalty will know how great you were. I love you forever." Now, this is a very sweet and heartfelt tribute, and when you read this and you see this woman who's pregnant with their twins, it's pretty heartbreaking as well. As we start to learn more, it's kind of a little sick and twisted in my opinion, and we're going to get to why. Elizabeth's mother-in-law, Blanca, filed a missing persons report right after Elizabeth disappeared before her hospital appointment. She said, "I talked to her on Wednesday night saying, 'Little mija, I can't wait until tomorrow. You better not have those babies until I get home.'" She was very much involved by the looks of it and a very caring mother-in-law to have, which is an absolute blessing. And she's the one who filed the missing persons report once Elizabeth didn't show up to that hospital appointment to be induced. Blanco also has said that on the morning of August 5th, Elizabeth was seen leaving her house that morning, but without the bag that she had packed to take to the hospital. The bag was left next to her door. And she says, "It's just, ever since that morning, we don't know anything." Now, this is very interesting to me because with the hospital bag placed at her door, does it look like it could have been a potential abduction because she left things behind and was taken in a fleeting moment? It starts to open the door to a lot of questions. As this search for Elizabeth is on and everybody is panicked wondering what could have happened to Elizabeth, where is she? She's supposed to be induced. Hopefully she doesn't go into labor. Hopefully she's safe and not on the side of the road giving birth to these twins. I mean, everybody was in a panic. And Elizabeth's friend Gigi says, "Elizabeth's always smiling, always laughing. To not see that right now, it hurts to know that maybe we're not thinking the worst, but we are praying for the best. We are praying that somebody calls or she calls or the hospital calls and says that the boys are fine." I mean, everybody was really just praying for a miracle in this moment. Now, this is the moment where things take a sharp left and get pretty intense. And I'm sorry, but I gotta do it to you guys. Before we get to the unexpected turn of events, let's have a quick 60-second word from today's sponsor. Being in the true crime space, protection is very important to me, and having a great VPN is absolutely essential. I've been using NordVPN for a few months now, and I have to tell you, it is hands down the best. I use it every single day. It's easy to use, and you can set it up so that it either auto connects or it connects with just one single click. It is really that easy. And with over 5,200 servers in over 60 countries, it is so easy to either find a server near you for faster speeds or one further away so that you can access more content. What I love is that they also offer double VPN for extra protection. This allows users to route their traffic through 2 different VPN servers so that you have double the encryption. Whether you create content like me or you just want to browse the internet securely, NordVPN is the way to go, and you can even use it on your mobile device, so you literally are protected anywhere. Go to nordvpn.com/10tolife for a 2-year plan, plus a bonus gift and a huge discount. Thank you, NordVPN, for sponsoring today's video, and thank you, viewers, for understanding that sponsors are essential in growing this channel to a place where I can fully dedicate all of my time to making videos for you guys. Now, let's get back to the case. So now this is where everything takes that sharp left and a crazy turn of events. So Elizabeth's cousin-in-law said that after Elizabeth disappeared, they uncovered all sorts of evidence that she had faked her pregnancy. Faking this pregnancy included buying fake sonograms online online, allegedly buying a fake belly to wear. And the cousin says the sister and the father said that she wasn't pregnant, that they figured she was faking the pregnancy because she could not even have kids. Now, this was a bombshell because remember, her late husband, Milko's family, has been filing the missing persons report, pleading for her safe return. Her friends have been pleading for her safe return. They also, emotionally, of course, believe that Milko's legacy is carrying on through these twin boys. So to hear that, oh my gosh, this pregnancy may not even be real, she may have faked it this entire time, is a devastating blow. And Blanca, Elizabeth's mother-in-law, posts on Facebook, I am completely at a loss for words of what I have discovered. Me and my family and friends have been deceived by my daughter-in-law. This is my daughter-in-law. She has faked her pregnancy and faked ultrasound photos, and we had no clue at all, being that I lost my son a few months ago, and her and I and everyone else was thinking that we were waiting on the arrival of my grandsons. So Liz, if you are seeing this, thank you for getting our hopes up. I just ask that you come home and come forward with answers. Elizabeth's sister-in-law also steps in and she posts on Facebook and says, I'm still completely lost for words. My inbox is going crazy and I'm sorry if I haven't messaged you back, but yes, the family put 2 and 2 together, and yes, we know that Elizabeth has now faked her entire pregnancy. All we are seeing all over Facebook is so many judgments, so much negativity, and everyone just putting their 2 cents in, which I understand this is social media and that's what everyone does, but please don't forget how this has hurt my family. Here we thought we were about to have 2 baby boys born into this world, and there aren't any babies. Absolutely devastating. She also adds, this has broke our hearts tremendously. To everyone I haven't messaged back, just know, yes, we know, and we are taking it hard. Like we just lost my brother in February, and now it's like losing 2 of his babies that weren't even real, that we all were so excited about meeting and waiting for their arrival. Life isn't fair. This is all beyond heartbreaking. And as for Liz, I hope she returns safely and gets the help she needs, because this is an illness that needs attention by a therapist or hospital. I have to say, that, to me, those last few words, it's a lot of compassion for someone who has just done this to their family. I don't know that I would personally be able to offer the same compassion, so props to you, because that is absolutely horrific, and I can't even imagine that turmoil and devastation that this family must be feeling. As I mentioned, Facebook has been going wild since the very beginning of this. There's a Facebook group with, I believe, like 30,000 members at this moment. Everybody sharing theories, passing information, exchanging information and details with each other, and a lot of the family members seem to be speaking up on social media. And we also hear directly from Elizabeth's sister. And Elizabeth's sister, Isabella, says, true family and friends love Elizabeth no matter what the situation. Regardless of whether she is pregnant or not, she's still missing. So can we focus on that instead of picking her apart and help get her back home? She also added, please don't be hurtful about what we do not understand. As unfortunate as the circumstances are, our goal is to still get her home safely to her loved ones. Let's not forget she is still a daughter, sister, friend, etc. We still don't have any information on her whereabouts, and we are still very concerned. Liz, if you are seeing this, we are praying for you, and we hope that you come home soon. So all sorts of public pleas from her direct family, her extended family, strangers, friends, everybody just saying, hey, come forward. We want to know answers. We want to at least make sure that you're okay. And while we make sure you're okay, what the heck is going on? Why'd you fake this whole pregnancy? What's really happening here? And just 5 days after being reported missing on August 5th, Elizabeth was located on August 10th and is said to be safe. However, when Elizabeth was found, it was confirmed by police that, as suspected by so many people, she was never actually pregnant. She had been lying about this pregnancy with these 2 twin boys for 9 months. It's my belief that she went missing the day she was scheduled to be induced because at that point she knew the charade was up. It's my opinion that she knew she was going to be caught for faking this pregnancy and that she didn't want to answer to that. However, the bigger question is, why? And we've unfortunately seen this in more times than we would like. We saw this happen with previous cases such as the Heidi Broussard case and Reagan Hancock, and A lot of the times it is suggested that there is a mental illness attached, but I'm curious as to what led Elizabeth to fake this pregnancy, because we know that she began this charade prior to her husband passing away and being killed. This happened prior to that, which starts for me to open the doors to suspect, did she lie about the pregnancy as a means to keep him? Was there any sort of conflict within their marriage to where somebody was stepping out, or she felt she was losing him for some reason, to where she lied about a pregnancy to hold on to him a little longer, and then once he passed away, she had to continue and maintain this lie, especially because of the amount of outpouring of love and sympathy she was receiving. I have a lot of questions as to why did this lie even originate in the beginning of all of this back in January. And we don't have the answers yet. Although she's been found, we still have not heard from Elizabeth herself, and we haven't heard from any of the investigators anything that she has disclosed as to the reasoning behind it. As I mentioned, there are a lot of theories out there ranging from mental illness and to what I just spoke about possibly faking the pregnancy prior to her husband's death as a means to keep him around. It's also been suggested that the conflict that occurred resulting in his death with the 20-year-old girl and her 36-year-old boyfriend, possibly he was somehow tied to that 20-year-old and romantically involved, and that's why there was such a large conflict that erupted. So could that relationship have began prior to that night in which his life was taken and Elizabeth lied and made up that pregnancy to keep him? I mean, there's a lot of different layers to this that we still are unclear about and we haven't received the answers to. And I just want to extend my deepest condolences and my thoughts and prayers to Milko's family. I can't imagine the devastation that you must be going through right now and the heartbreak you must be feeling. I'm with you, my heart is with you, and my prayers are with your entire family. What do you guys think? I know there are a lot of rumors out there. There is a lot of information being shared. There are a lot of theories as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. First of all, what do you make of women who fake these pregnancies? Is it mental illness? Could it be something else? Also, what do you think their end game is? We've seen in some of the other cases like the ones I referenced where the baby was actually taken from another woman to pass off as their own. Do you think that was possibly Elizabeth's plan? That she was going to steal 2 children and newborn boys at that, and pass them off as her own? What do you think the end game was here? And what do you think the root of this entire story stemmed from? I'm curious to know your thoughts, so let me know in the comments below. As we learn more details about this case, guys, I'm going to keep you updated because I am extremely fascinated and curious to know what the heck is going on. So if you want to stay updated with me, don't forget, hit that subscribe button and turn your notification bell to on so that you get notified of new videos as they get posted. Thanks so much for tuning in with me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the coverage today. Until the next case, stay safe.